All right, welcome back. This is episode 16. I'm confident it's episode 16 this time. Hopefully I'm right. Shoutouts first to Trey Graypaws for a pretty good suggestion that I always hear these stories of people very early in the game just getting wiped out by these humongous attacks by juggernauts, and he brought up a good point that there's a pretty good chance that what people are doing is transferring their community and then just building all of their base simultaneously, and they're probably pushing the zombie threat meter to the max, and that's resulting in a just gigantic attack, and then the noise of the ongoing attack, screamers, juggernauts yelling, etc., is probably drawing the denizens nearby that were never part of the siege, but are now going to join to get on the fun. Shout out also to Planet Gunoid, again actually, because 100 referrals. Apparently he told 100 of his friends that they should check out my channel, and the reception was pretty good. I don't ask anything out of my viewers, you know. You don't even have to watch, just do whatever you want. I just make the content and I try to design it in a way that's to your liking, but for anyone who goes above and beyond the Call of Duty, just recommending it and whatnot, yes, I absolutely am extremely grateful for this, and I want to make sure it's recognized. Just 2 shoutouts today, though. Let's get into the gameplay. So, Zombieville. 4 plague hearts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, what was that? 6 infestations. There might be some extra plague hearts just kind of out and about, but Zombieville is kind of my homemade final boss for the removal of the plague hearts. We're not ready to do it, though. I mean, look at our supplies. Our supplies can get us some of the way, but not all the way, and that's what we're going to be doing today. Today, we are going to be preparing for the attack on Zombieville. And our goals are... Let's get this guy going, because his fighting is almost at the max. Our goals are just to get as much supplies as possible, and then, if I feel we're good, then we're going to launch the attack on the following day, if we're in a good position for it. If we need more materials, then we need more materials. Let's go ahead and repair this, since we did feed a ton of raw materials into our brand new forge. The forge definitely eats up a lot of materials, there's no doubt about it. I mean, let's just take a look at it. Forge eats up 16 materials, which is a lot. That's not a small number, but we're at the point now where we don't really need materials for anything else. Materials are in a really good spot. So, let's go ahead and use this. Take off the brake so it doesn't make any more noise than is necessary. That looks good. Let's bring the flashbangs just in case. Anyways, we're at the point where we don't really need the materials for anything else. There's really no buildings I want to upgrade. There's nothing else, so we may as well just convert the materials into parts. Let's get a tank of fuel. Need to make a tank of fuel. Now, you know, so I just said that we don't need the materials for anything. If I planned to move into an even bigger base, that would be different, but I plan to beat the game unless the quest... Wait, let's see if we can just refuel it right now. Unless the quest wants me to move into another base, I don't plan to build any additional structures or anything. I'm pretty satisfied with how the base is. And I think we're just going to complete the legacy right here. The Mazzara farm worked exactly as I hoped it would. So what do we need? We need ammo. We need, I mean, everything except food, basically. Let's see if there's... Let's check that barn. So to destroy all those zombies, we're gonna need a ton of things. We're gonna need fire bombs in order to clear the infestations. We're gonna need explosives, bloater bombs, all kinds of different stuff in order to deal with the plague hearts. You know, there's many different ways to deal with it, as we have seen throughout the game. Question is if that feral heard it. Does this guy have... Yes, he has guns. Did we locate it? We did not locate it on the map. I've noticed something in the community that people's opinion is either that the game is either too easy or too hard. It's very... The difficulty they describe it... They don't describe it this way, but I would describe it as basically an inverse bell curve. Like, basically, if you were to chart the difficulty on a graph, it would look like a U. Oh, there's the feral. You could see him right there. With a trio of screamers as well. If we had a more accurate weapon, I would attempt to take his head, but... Anyway, so basically they're saying it's like an inverse bell curve, which is the shape of a U, and you'd imagine that the beginning of the U is that the game is either too easy or too hard. It's like, it's appropriate for the extremely casual player, or it's appropriate to the extremely advanced player. That would be what the graph represents. And I would say that, yeah, that's probably about accurate. Basically, it's probably a criticism of the Dread Zone being a notch up in difficulty, but not being sufficiently different from the base game. And then Nightmare Zone, too hard for a lot of people. I don't think that the Nightmare Zone should be reduced, though. I think Nightmare Zone is right where it should be. But I think that's also just the nature of trying to tune games in general. It's very hard to make a game where everyone is happy, if not impossible to do such a thing. Medicine. We do need medicine. We'll need it for making scent block. And we won't have to fight that feral since it didn't hear us. I guess one of the solutions is to do what World of Warcraft does. They have, like, infinite numbers of difficulties so that there's a difficulty for everyone, but I guess they sort of already did that with Breakdown. If you didn't play State of Decay 1, they had a DLC called Breakdown, where the whole concept of it was there would be 99 levels of Breakdown, and every time you beat the map and progress to the next area, and you could prioritize it if you want. It wouldn't take you long to... Oh my gosh, I have to actually... There we go. It wouldn't take long to progress from each breakdown level if you really concentrated on it, but every time you would progress, you'd go from breakdown 1 to breakdown 2, breakdown 3, and so forth, until you ultimately could get to breakdown 99. And I suppose that's one way they could do it, where you just have this kind of gradual increase of difficulty until everyone finds a difficulty they're satisfied with. Me, I like it this way. I like the idea that you've got standard, dread, and nightmare.
That's worth taking.
There was a question about stealth in the game. Not the stealth skill, but the mechanic of stealth in State of Decay. And basically that, isn't it boring to sneak around and avoid combat all the time? And I don't think it is. I think it takes a lot of concentration to sneak around and whatnot. In addition to that, if I just went belligerently around and just made a ton of noise, I'd be stuck fighting zombies all the time, and you might say, isn't that the point of State of Decay? And kind of no, actually. The point of the game is to survive, and fighting zombies is part of surviving, but it's not the end-all, be-all. And the big problem with just constantly making noise, let's say you had a really strong community, it would just get, to me, it would be really annoying constantly fighting cruddy little zombies all the time when you're trying to do something because it just constantly makes noise. I wouldn't want to fight 20 to 30 zombies everywhere I go just because I'm making noise.
Nothing else here.
Got a mod that we could sell. Let's go ahead and put something in the truck. Actually, let's just use this. A little bit of a waste, but I don't feel like going all over the place just to optimize my inventory. The conclusion, though, is that I don't think stealth is necessary, but it's important to know when you should be quiet. Otherwise, like I said, you're just going to be stuck fighting... I can't remember where that last location is. Oh, here it is. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck fighting zombies all the time, and that's what I would think would get tiresome, is just constantly getting trapped into fighting these cruddy little zombies when you're trying to get something done. Like right here, we'll go and execute this guy as well, but who knows, if you attracted him, he might make a sound, and that might get the next guy's attention, and you create this domino effect where everyone wants to investigate, hey, what was that sound over there? And to me, that's just a huge pain. We got a whole bunch of distractions, a bunch of road flares. What happened? Oh, irrigation system's disabled. Time to turn that back on. So you might wonder, why am I not throwing more into the forge? It's because that's going to push us into the red zone with the threat level, so what I'm going to do is wait for a zombie siege to occur, then I will activate the forge. Ah, this place looks really good. We don't have an outpost nearby, so I'm very likely to abandon equipment if we can't fit it in, we'll abandon it. I'm mainly just looking for raw materials right now. I was also asked, what equipment do I use beyond the standard for my Xbox setup? And the first thing I use is the Xbox Elite controller. A lot of people didn't think it would be a very big deal, but because I am a big PC player, I play a lot of games that require a ton of buttons, like World of Warcraft, I play a lot of MMORPGs, and I know the value of the ability to freely remap buttons, and that's exactly what this controller allows you to do. The controller allows you to change the buttons that you don't like and have an equivalent button. So for example, I hate pushing R3 and L3, which is clicking the control stick down. It drives me nuts doing that. When I played Warframe, my thumb would start to get sore, like the tendons in my thumb from constantly having to press R3, because at the time I was using a grenade launcher, and it was a manually detonated grenade launcher, so you'd shoot a grenade, you'd push R3. You shoot a grenade, you push R3. Shoot a grenade, push R3. And since it's a very grindy game, it's like, you could compare it to something like Destiny. Oh my god, you would push the R3 button all the time. And so a big revolution was when the Elite controller came out, and I just mapped it to one of the paddle buttons on the back of the controller. The paddles are basically located right below the battery bay. And yeah, you could just easily push that with one of one of the fingers that are supporting the controller from underneath when you're holding it. reduce the difficulty immensely. It also takes care of issues like, in Halo, you have the constant problem of what control setup allows you to aim and jump without your right thumb leaving the analog. Because the issue is, if you're aiming with the right analog, and then you push the A button to jump, well, you jump, and then for a split amount of time, you can no longer aim at the same time. And in Halo, you do a lot of jumping and shooting at the same time. So it would be very awkward to attempt to jump and shoot simultaneously. So you just remap the A button to one of the paddle buttons on the back. And while there are different configs, you could switch to different control setups. You always have to give something up. There's always something awkward about it. So you just get the Elite controller, it solves off. So that's the first thing I use. I have an external hard drive. That's kind of a necessity these days because the Xbox One, the hard drive it comes native with, it's not big enough for digital games. It comes like, what, with like a 500 gigabyte hard drive, maybe 1 terabyte, and the operating system itself consumes like 300 gigabytes. So you hardly, actually it's not that much. It's more like, I think it's like 150 gigabytes. So even if you had a 150 gig native hard drive, you would be using the most of it for the silly operating system. So you just gotta have an external hard drive if you want games. Fortunately, oh god, there's a jug. Pair of jugs. Time to get out of here. I don't know where getting out of here is, but anywhere but here. Currently, anywhere but here. Let's just drop these back off at home. So, external hard drive, you know, if you've never used one before, it's just a hard drive that plugs into the USB. The Xbox will need to format it, doesn't take very long, and then, yeah, you'll have like X terabytes of storage depending on how much you buy. I think you can get 2 terabytes for like $60, and I think it's crappy that they don't give us bigger hard drives and they basically push us into buying third-party stuff. The Nintendo is especially bad about that. I remember when the Nintendo Wii U came out, it came with either an 8 gigabyte hard drive or a 32. I'm like, what a joke. That's an absolute joke. And as a result, yeah, you gotta buy a hard drive. That was nothing to say against the Wii U in terms of the quality of some of its games. There were a lot of great games, but one thing I don't... Oh, here we go. So, zombie invasion. Once we repel this, we can't get another zombie invasion for a while, so we will just shovel some materials in. Looks like potentially a trio of ferals, as those two cries were awfully close together. We now have too many infestations. Clear to improve morale. Oh, well, they'll get cleared all right. Maybe not yet, but they'll get cleared. I heard the feral again. Where are they screaming? Oh, there's one. Okay, the feral is now in here with us, so up I go. Not gonna go all the way up. I just want them to, or my guy will just go up all the way, fine. Why not?
I can't keep this up.
Ugh. Let's just get these guys off our backs. We do have to get into the neutral.
Hey, sniper. Do some exploring.
As you can see, the AI absolutely prioritizes the, oh, that's funny, he T-posed. Gunslinger failing me there slightly.
Ordered him ready.
Got that interesting music in the background, kind of like surfer music. We're also one BFG down as well. We've got, I believe, what... Actually, that might not be true. I'm not sure if this guy was using a BFG or not.
It's fucking over.
Okay, so now we can shovel these in, and as you can see, we now have a serious risk. We're making a lot of noise. A whole mess of Zeds will probably attack if we keep this up, but it's too late. They've already had their opportunity to attack. It is possible to get another siege, but it would have to be a siege that we trigger manually. Like we are running out of ammo there. Okay, so we were one BFG down. Looks like Lindsay was injured in the attack, and so is Jeffrey. So it looks like Eric is up next.
Anybody feel like scavenging for more materials?
Let's put our stuff in.
You know, before the outbreak, I wrote the greatest song of all time. I'm trying to find those.
Now this guy in his personal quest, he will not shut up about it. He really wants to go with that song.
I hope you can find him.
Let's use the preppers. This thing has a huge magazine, so we'll just reload it and just stick with the 50 rounds that it comes with. Need another weapon. Metal bat, why not? Need a repair kit. The flashbangs. The only other special equipment I do use, though, is... I have a bunch of extra long HDMI cables because I have an Elgato game capture card, and sometimes I gotta do these weird positions with it, and having a really long HDMI cable helps me have it in any position that I want it to be in relationship to my computer and the TV. Yay. Where else can we go look for stuff? First, what do we need? Let's go ahead and make some. Crouch, and let's go ahead and actually make some of our stuff. So first, we'll make one thing a scent block. We're not going to need more than the 3 applications, I wouldn't expect. We will, however, need more bloater cloud grenades. Let's go ahead and make a few more of those. How are we looking? Still pretty good. Let me check what mods we have available. Nothing to help improve production. We're going to need more fuel bombs. Fortunately, you get 6 fuel bombs every time you produce these, but the part costs are still expensive. You see that 60 parts there? Definitely a drain on parts, which is why it's important that we get parts any way we can. So let's go ahead and make that in preparation. We're probably not going to do any demolition through ammunition. We're like, in other words, we're probably not going to do anything like pipe bombs. It's still an option. It's still there, especially because it takes 6 pipe bombs to bring a plague guard down. That's only 4 ammunition. That's not too bad. But let's not spend too much because it reduces our options. Let's just get a few. Basically, why did I spend that? So I can kind of look at my shopping list. And before we go, one last thing. Let's make sure that 3rd BFG is online. Is it you?
No sense putting this off.
Yes, it's you. You are the one who doesn't have it. Well, the most annoying thing on my main community, and it's probably the reason why I typically only use 2 characters in my main community, is my list of weapons goes on so far down, and it's really annoying to constantly switch between the different weapons. I would really like it if they added a favorites tab, just for the weapons that are your top used weapons that you could add as to a custom favorites list. That would improve my efficiency for changing weapons dramatically. The reason my weapons list is so long is because I like to keep one of every weapon just to kind of have like a museum of equipment. That sounded like a juggernaut. Right about here. At 3 minutes, let's wait on that. Instead, crouch, and let's take a look at where else we can find some supplies. Food. Food. Not really looking to help anyone unless it's really important. Food, materials, materials. 2 places with materials. That sounds more up my alley. The more materials we get, the more we can shovel into the furnace. The more we shovel into the furnace, the more stuff we can build. And yeah, it does suck that you have to shovel in 16 in order to actually get it going. But like I said, I mean, what else are we going to spend our materials on? I have no idea. Materials, I basically am looking at materials as parts right now. Nice and super dark as usual. Good old super dark State of Decay 2. Someone a little while ago asked why I don't increase the gamma brightness on my screen. The reason for it is just because I feel like that's the way Undead Labs wants me to play. They want me to have to deal with the darkness, like the darkness is supposed to be a mechanic. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to deal with the darkness as intended. We do have stealth on this guy, so we can sprint away, which gives us a little more time to clear the zombie detection. Close is this guy. Pretty far on all of his skills, to be honest. Let's see how many people came. Not that many, actually.
I should really enjoy the peace and quiet while I can.
Let me know what you think down in the comments, though. How important do you think stealth is in relationship to the Nightmare Zone? Not the skill stealth, but the mechanic of stealth and just the generation of noise in general. How important do you think it is? And if you had a really powerful community, and some of you do, would you just go around making noise all the time? Would you just not have a care in the world? Look at this stuff. Pretty good stuff. We can scrap that. Not for much, but we can still scrap it. Would you just go around making all the noise in the world? I don't think I would, because I think that it would just get annoying killing tons and tons of zombies all day. What is this? Okay, I thought it was possibly a plague horde with the juggernauts in it. He's in the back. This is the second building that had...
Anybody listening out there? I could use a hand.
Same thing. Get out and sprint stealth away to clear the area. It's like they're just kind of wandering in this direction. Not because of the sound, but just because they feel like wandering around in this direction. This is what I'm talking about, like, why am I not talking right now? It's just because going in stealth, it does tend to take up more of your concentration. Perhaps it is a bit boring to watch stealth. I mean, I guess that's in the eye of the beholder, but I know from the gameplay perspective, I am definitely paying full attention when I am stealth. Starting to run a little low on space in our inventory, so let's be a little more judicious about what we're picking up. Getting these canisters of fuel means it preserves us from spending fuel, so we can use it more for... What is my character doing? He's going crazy. Like that weird, like, shimmy he was doing. What the heck was that? And also, where the heck were these all this time? Like, now we're getting repair kits? What the heck is this?
We can do something with this.
I've been looking for repair kits for a very long time, and now they're giving them to me. A MAC-10. A lot of these weapons that I have no intention of using, they will also be great for scrapping into materials. A shotgun? That's worth a decent bit, so we're going to throw that in the back.
That's a lot of stuff.
Honestly, I'm kind of amazed by how much we've already accomplished.
Is this gonna be a return back to base? I think this is a return back to base. Yeah, we're running out of inventory. We're actually getting a ton of decent stuff. Not stuff that we would actively use, but right now it's all reduce, reuse, recycle. And by reduce, I mean reduce the parts. Some of the things I have to do in this game, avoiding kind of like glitchy things, like getting stuck on weird terrain and stuff, it reminds me a long time ago, I played this game, Sonic the Hedgehog, the 2006 game, and I had to do the exact same thing. I think that was my first experience in a game where you had to learn to play around the glitches as much as you had to learn to play around the game. And while this obviously is nothing compared to that game in terms of how broken and glitchy it is. Oh yeah, here's these guys. Go get him now that we have our sniper support. So we're going to lure the Juggernauts this way because we don't want them to destroy our vehicles on accident like they did before. Now I'm going to run up here. I'd have to drop an item to make room. Oh no, it actually doesn't show up in your inventory, so that wasn't necessary.
Somebody watch over me. Somebody with
Pick that back
a
up.
gun.
Let's see if I can get it. Ugh. That wasn't supposed to happen. That could have gone... I mean, that did go poorly, but that could have gone much worse. Put the gate on him. Use a bandage. Maybe if I put a bullet in him or... Oh man, what is up with this game's engine sometimes? This guy also, he was a, he's a T-Series subscriber. There goes another subscription for T-Series. You can thank me later, Pewds.
Nowhere for that to go.
Oh wait, and this weapon is breaking down? Of course it is. Everything is breaking down.
Okay, I'm out. You can take this from here.
Where were those screamers at? There's one of them. What? Don't I have a... Oh. Oh yeah, they definitely heard that. That unsilenced gunshot. Got Jehovah's Witnesses at the door. Let's get our plague samples. Ton of them. So this guy needs the rest. Okay, so what we're going to do, instead of equipping him with something, we know he's going to use the BFG most likely. So we'll just leave him without a weapon, because so we now know that it's, I can't even remember his name, it's the guy on the far right. He's going to be equipping the BFG. Although, let me see if we can get more materials in into the base real quick. Maybe we can get another scrapping done. 18? Yeah, let's scrap another group of materials. And we need to equip flashbangs. What do we have? Plenty of ammo of 22 caliber rounds. Let's use the fake AK. As usual, everything is breaking down. We have to repair something. Let's just accept it. 35 rounds. I think that's good enough. I don't think it actually needs a... Where's the weapon with the silencer? Give me the silencer. Put that back. Put this on. Put the silencer on. Am I missing anything? I think I would... Oh, a second melee weapon. Take the Bowie machete. Let's see if the infestation spread anywhere else. No, it's just there. So that's number 7. Ton of infestations, but... We still got time to search for more materials. This location says it still hasn't been completely searched. Or searched at all. I could have swore that I visited that building, though. We got a lot of influence, though. That means we can buy stuff. In the final attack, I might even recruit some people from an allied enclave. You know, let them probably die. That's probably what's going to happen to them. Because I'm going to use scent block. You know, they're not going to see me, but they'll probably devour my allies. But it's not a big deal. It's going to be the huge battle. Or it might just be a massive stealth op. I have no idea, because that area is heavily infested. It could be a terrible idea to attack Zombie Town in the way that I plan to. It could be an awful idea. Just like driving in here may have been an awful idea. What are my options for getting out? Pretty much just reversing.
Looks empty.
Okay, I thought so. It just hadn't been marked on the radar. Or on the map, rather. Meds. Where are the materials? Material. This one looks like materials. Nope. 2 garages. We can get around them. Nope, couldn't get around them. Sounds like the Horde heard us, so we'll skip on the samples. Or the Horde didn't hear us. Got a hitchhiker. Of course, late in the game, a lot of my problems would be solved, like the necessity for repair kits. Speak of the devil. Heard a feral, very distantly though. No, I was hoping to go around, but we're just gonna take the bridge. It's not that big of a detour. Oh, almost nicked that. That could have damaged the vehicle as well. Some objects, if you hit them hard enough, objects you would not expect, like a scarecrow, certain objects, you hit them really fast and they will just rip your vehicle apart. Like, if you hit like a scarecrow at full speed, it's more devastating than hitting a juggernaut. Looks like he sees me. Looks like that one saw me as well. Oh no, he turned away. He leashed. That's an MMO term for you there, when an enemy runs back to where their programmed point of patrol is. It's called leashing.
At least it's not nothing.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it. More flares, why not? We're probably going to use distractions to cluster up some of the zombies and burn them all.
Found something.
Materials, speaking my language now. Snacks. This area is pretty peaceful. There's really not a lot here. Might as well check out this warehouse while we're here. Trio of screamers. Even though this area is very peaceful, those screamers could easily change that. So let's not get their attention.
Yeah.
Really? They had to bash through that. Actually, let's see if they heard that. They did. Let's search the objects that are furthest away from the screamers. Scrap it for 24. Circuits. Gonna leave the last ones behind. Scouting nearly maxed. Still got room for more rucksacks. Let's see what else is around. Materials. And a salvage yard, so even more materials. Juggernaut, let's not get his attention. Heard a feral, I think. If I did, though, it was extremely faint. Meaning it is at a very long range away. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else here.
There
Good.
has to be something useful in here.
Oh man, we can search 6 objects here. I may cut this episode a little short so I can save daylight, because we might have the materials needed to either destroy or take a big chunk out of Zombie Town. Because here's my plan. What I'm going to do is disband one of my outposts, and I'm going to claim, I don't know, maybe one of these right here. Something close by so that I can, like, run back and forth and resupply to, like, finish them off. Because there's no way I can hold all of the materials needed to purge Zombieville in one stroke.
Nothing we can use.
I suppose we could also upgrade our base, upgrade the command center one higher so that we would get +1.
Well, that's the last of that.
Let's just use that. Kind of a waste, but whatever. I'm not really interested in... I'm not being... I don't care too much about being economical at the moment. Another repair kit. Let's drop the flares. And we'll take the the circuits, because they will stack. I hate when a character doesn't go into stealth when I hold down the stealth button. Zombies remaining according to the heads-up display. Oh, there's a remaining zombie. The heck just happened? Does he hear that? Yes, he does hear that.
That's pretty heavy.
Materials. This area is really big. I wonder where the other materials are. The salvage beast. The head, I don't know if any of you have played Warhammer 40k or even Warhammer in general, but it gives me a impression that it looks like a orc banner. Comment down the comment section if you know what I'm talking about. I wonder where the materials are, the last two searchable objects. Let me kill this zombie so that I can just... Oh, okay, here's one of them. So I can run around more freely. What is this thing? Is this like a cabinet or something? Like a... Looks like it's part of a cabinet.
Nope, nothing.
Scouting is currently failing me. Like, normally I would be able to see the loot very easily, but... The problem here is I don't even know where to look for the loot. And why can't we smelt all this? Like, imagine we could just grab all this crap here and smelt all of this into parts with our forge. That'd be amazing. Massive junkyard. I'm gonna take one more sweep. And then abandon... Watch it be another sack of materials that I'm abandoning. Let me climb up again. Make sure, doubly sure. It looks like I can climb up there as well. Why isn't this a base? I think this could be a base. This would easily be a built-in watchtower. Uh-oh, this might be too much of a drop. He saw us. I guess we're abandoning the last searchable here. I want to get a look at this thing. Scenic look at what this is. Of course, this guy is interfering with my sightseeing. Oh, I see. He's supposed to be a giant. I'll presume a bald eagle made out of junk. Oh, he's even got talons. That's kind of creative. Interesting little props. Things that they don't need to add into the game, but nevertheless are... Got some materials here, too. Ah, we gotta pick a stopping point. You can always get more and more and more and more. So let's go check what our... Let's go shopping with our two allies and then get the heck out of here. Because like I said, I want to have some daylight left. for the attack on Zombieville, and I think we've gathered enough stuff to actually make the attack happen. But the one thing we need is daylight. I mean, I'm willing to attack at night, but it would definitely be safer to attack during daylight. As usual, I'm thinking, what do I name this episode? Something to do with, like, preparation, I think. Something to do with, like, preparing for a coming conflict. I think something to that extent, I believe, is the appropriate name for this episode. Oh, he got me with the quick attack. Playing Pokemon now. What do you got for me? Buy a medkit. I mean, why not?
As I can carry.
Buy the hand grenades. We've got over 1,000 influence. Might as well spend it for our attack. Now let's mark our next ally. There's a feral. Is he going to be close enough to attack this community, I wonder? He's trying. Oh yeah, he's close enough.
Shit.
Give him that good old gunslinger treatment.
Let's be careful. There's a few nearby. Can't do it.
Great aim.
So nice to see you. Let's see what we have here. Sure, sounds good.
Fuel. Hunter's Model 29. Got a good amount of fuel, actually. Nothing we need, though.
Gotta be out there destroying plague hearts. No other option.
Oh, we'll be destroying plague arts. We'll be destroying them. Juggernaut. Only one, though. We'll definitely hear that. We're going to take the side entrance. Get his attention.
I'm home.
Go. You better not be there to destroy my vehicles. What is he doing? You there. This way. This way. This way. That's right. This way. It's like, I can't. Too far to the left, too far to the right, too far to the left, too far to the right. Doors and gateways are confusing. Okay, there we go. My allies are currently plagued with Bad accuracy, probably because that thing's in the way. Let's climb up here real quick. There we go, now they're landing some hits. And he's probably dead before we can do anything. Oh, wait. Give me the 100 influence. Gimme. All these materials back up to 22.
Powerful thing. Even stronger than the undead.
Now we have 536 parts. Let's go ahead and put all this stuff in. And we're over an hour, so let's wrap this episode up. I think we're ready to attack Zombieville next. Oh, wait. I think we're ready to attack Zombieville next episode. I think we got excellent looting. The zombies were fairly passive. I think a lot of it had to do with the demonstration of how not making noise allows you to get more done. Over to my favorite place with the candles. So what did we get done today? Tons of looting. Like, how many materials did we get? We got to use the forge twice, and we're still up to 22. We could use the forge a third time. We've got a lot of materials. We're going to be mass producing some arms and weapons. We are going to be abandoning this meds outpost. Perfect. There's a meds outpost we're abandoning. There's a meds outpost right here. Or maybe we'll claim one of these ones here. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 infestations. Now, what's the biggest one? 3 screamers. 3 screamers. 2 screamers. 3 screamers. 3. 1. That's a new one. 3 and 3. Lots of stuff going on in here. This is potentially the final 4. I name it Zombieville, Zombietown, Zombieburg. You take whatever name you want, but its days are numbered. I don't know if we'll be able to destroy it in one stroke. We're going to do a lot of really dumb things. Maybe someone will die. I don't really care. I think it's going to be really, really fun. I'm going to recruit some allies to come with us. I think we even get the ability to call in assaults. Don't we? Don't we get the ability to... I guess we don't. Maybe it's because someone died, but normally the surviving soldiers give you the ability to provide assaults. Zero-cost followers. There you go. We're going to be getting zero-cost followers. We're going to throw everything we've got at them. The BFG will come out. Everything's going to come out. And we're going to try to purge Zombietown. And this was the episode that hopefully facilitated that. Too many infestations. Clear to improve morale. Well, we're going to go beyond that. We're just going to wipe that entire place off the map. Like this episode if you are anticipating the destruction of Zombietown. Subscribe for future State of Decay 2 content. And remember that you don't have to be good to get good.